Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the Great Wall of Comics. It's Monday. We've got some packages, and that means it's time for some mail call. All right, so we've got packages from the post, and in addition to that, I know it's not really mail call, but I have a stack of books here that I picked up at the LCS, local comic book shop. I want to make a point of doing that from time to time when we use acronyms because new collectors don't know necessarily all these things. I mean, we have the infamous story of Brian LCS, one of these fellow YouTubers. Check him out. What the hell? Um, and how he used the term LCS in his name, not knowing what it meant. And old hats, we tend to think that everything is just common knowledge, and it's not. We need to make the collecting of comic book stuff accessible to all. So, went to my local comic book shop as I do every Wednesday. They had recently brought in a collection that contained a bunch of Bronze Age horror books. And lately, that's been a new rabbit hole I have begun to explore, picking up stuff. So I picked up a chunk of books, and let's go ahead and go through those right now. So I picked up a couple Wonder Tales. This is, or Weird Wonder Tales, issue 6. The Man Who Owned a Ghost. And this is issue 8, Reap Deadly Harvest. I just really dig these covers on these things here, and this is a series I'm working on here. This is DC's. It's Midnight, the Witching Hour, or just the Witching Hour. We get the Killer Eye. This is issue 41. And issue 42. A little vampire action there. And 45. 48. Now, most of these are in fine condition, maybe fine plus condition. Some of them with a pressing might hit a VF minus condition, but that's a bit. None of them are like super high grade, but that's fine. It means I can pick them up for like $10. Work on that run. I like it. That was issue 50. This is now Marvel Vault of Evil, issue 11. And with these, I really wouldn't. I mean, these things have some great artwork on these things, but these you'll often find these things in if you're finding stacks and runs of these in raw, they're typically going to be just in fine condition because they got read a lot. Here's issue 13. Would it make it hot in here? Hot as the devil. Here's issue 14. I really like some of these covers on this Vault of Evil run from Marvel. And DC's really known more. Here you go. Here's issue 16. DC's probably known a little bit better for their Bronze Age horror, as they had, ghosts and the unexpected and unexplained and House of Mystery and a whole bunch of these different things and those weird tales and uh, whereas I don't recall Marvel having as many, but Marvel did have a lot of those. Yeah, here's ghosts. A character. They had books that were, they had Morbius and Werewolf by Night and stuff. So they had hero or character based titles, as opposed to maybe just these anthology things where they'd have 3 or 4 different stories in each one. Anyways, let's see here. This is the 32, the last of the ghosts that we grabbed here. And then there's another DC title that I was talking about, Weird Mystery Tales. And then last one here, this was probably my favorite cover of all of them. It's a very cool cover. This poor Native American trying to hold the door closed. There's this creature coming in. Creatures are coming in to get her. Anyways, so that's it. That does up that stack of Bronze Age horror books. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the Bronze Age horror? I know there's a lot of people who are super into pre-code horror. Pre-code horror is super expensive, or not. I shouldn't say super expensive. It can be super expensive for certain issues. There are plenty of issues out there that are not. If you want to get into that golden age horror. Horror books are a lot scarcer during the Silver Age, and in Bronze Age we see a big resurgence. I really dig some of these covers. I think some of these covers really do get some. Obviously we're not seeing the severed heads and the broken spines and needles going in the eyes and some of this crazy stuff we saw in the pre-code era. But I think we got some pretty crazy covers on some of these things. I really dig them. So, and they're super affordable for the most part. Really, I think a lot of these things I can find for anywhere from $5 to $15 a book, with the exception of some of the House of Mysteries. You're getting like the Bernie Wrights and runs and stuff on that. You're going to see some more expensive stuff. All right, let's get into some slabs. So I decided to make a theme. Today's theme for slabs is going to be second appearances. So these are all second appearance books that I've picked up. And what's really great about second appearance books is sometimes, and or quite frequently, the cost of that book is minimal compared to the first appearance. Now, is it as much fun as saying that you have the first appearance of something? No. But the nice thing is if you already have the first appearance, getting the second appearance is a small amount more, or in some cases, as is the case with this particular book here that we're going to show, it's super out of whack on what a first appearance versus a second appearance costs. And so as that first appearance continues to get further and further out of reach of most people, these second appearances really can become something to reach for. So here's an example. This one doesn't have the receipt, but so this is Marvel Spotlight issue 6 in an 8.5. This is the second appearance of Ghost Rider. Second appearance of Ghost Rider, origin of Ghost Rider retold. So this book right here, in an 8.5, I want to say this book cost me right around $200, maybe just under that, just under $200. Compare that to Marvel Spotlight 5, where you're looking at about $1,000 for a 5.0. If you were looking at an 8.5, you're probably talking $2,500 minimum, I'm guessing. Off the top of my head, I didn't look it up beforehand. I'll put that information here. What the hell? So you can see that price difference between what it costs you for that first appearance or that second appearance. That makes this a super great value piece, especially if you are a fan of the character. So there you go. Marvel Spotlight number 6 in an 8.5, second appearance of the Ghost Rider. Super great value when compared to that first appearance. Now, this one is a little bit different. Not as quite as big of a difference in pricing, but that's because of the character himself, not necessarily anything else. So, come on. Stuff with newspaper. Wait, this is just a... Really? We used... Okay, I appreciate the cardboard, I'm just not understanding the plastic shopping bag. Um, yeah. And as I'm looking in here, it's not like they used this plastic shopping bag instead of a poly bag on the slab. The slab is in a poly bag. So, and at that, one of the really heavy duty ones that CGC gives you. All right. So this is a second appearance. Now, this second appearance happens to be, well, I guess maybe if you looked at it from a percentage of the book, it's still actually very disproportionate. So there's only about a 20% upcharge to get the first appearance of this character versus the second appearance. But that's just because this character is not a big character that a lot of people are going after, and that is Hulk 2099. It's very few people going after this book. Um, this book, the first appearance, of course, is in 2099 Unlimited #1. The Hulk 2099 #1 with our green foil border is his second appearance, and it does not denote that, but it just simply says green foil cover. This is a book that I've had. It's funny, Mark from Legion of Comics and I have talked about this book, in that we see 9.4s on this book all the time. Very common grade is a 9.4 on Hulk 2099 #1. There's some 9.6s, but 9.8s extremely difficult to find. There's not a lot of them out there. Part of that's because not a lot of people are slabbing them, but it's also that foil cover makes it very difficult. So I've been hunting for a long time, needing to have a 9.8. Finally, I found myself a copy in a CGC. Happy to pick that up, add that to the collection. Now, a book like this only runs you about $100, and that's because I stepped up and overpaid for it. If you look on most of the things, it tells you the value of the book's around $80 to $90. But the reality was I wanted a 9.8. I'd been hunting for a long time. This guy wouldn't go down less than, I think it was $115. Finally, I just decided I was willing to overpay a little bit, or set the new high, because I wanted it, and I know how difficult it has been for me to find a 9.8 Hulk 2099 #1, and the people who have them that do want to sell them, they know how few there are out there and ask a premium for them regardless of what actually is there. So anyway, second appearance of Hulk 2099. All right, last book. This one is another example of a price, of the price difference between the first and second appearance. Pretty pretty good difference in price. Because this one's going to be an more apples to apples comparison here. So this is going to be more in line with what we saw with the Ghost Rider, and that is, ooh, my God, this book might be able to get a freaking grade bump. Holy cow, this has. Okay. So this is Captain America 118 in an 8.0. This is the second appearance of the Falcon and Red Wing. So the first appearance of the Falcon right here I have in an 8.0. This book will run you in an 8.0 about $850 to $900 right now as of my recording this. This book ran me $170. So you can see the difference between that first appearance to the second appearance in the same grade, apples to apples comparison. Now, what I'm noticing as soon as I open this book up, let me see if I can get it in here, is I see a big dent. There we go. Here. And I see another one here on the bottom of this book. That obviously is going to impact the grade on this book. Now, this book, it's hard to say. There are some other issues with the book in the corner. On the corners of this book here, there's a color break there. And then down here, this one is rounded. It's not sharp. There's some color breaking along the spine. I don't know if it'll show up. There's a tick here, stuff here. So even if I press those out, I'm looking at best case scenario, probably an 8.5. The question becomes, is it worth trying to get a grade bump on this book for an 8.5? What would the result be worth it? Or is it just keep it the way it is? Can it even be pressed out? That is the $1,000,000 question. Anyways, something for me to think about down the line. So there we go. There's our second appearance books for today. Let me know which one's your favorite. Is it Hulk 2099? Shiny? Is it the Falcon? Or is it Ghost Rider in Marvel Spotlight 6? What do you think? Our second appearances for you. Let me know down below. And guys, again, hit that thumbs up button if you don't mind. Really appreciate it. It helps get this in front of more eyeballs. It means more ad revenue. More ad revenue means that's more support for the Comics Curing Cancer event. This year we raised over $51,000 thanks to you guys here in this comic book community telling cancer heck no. So we really appreciate you there. Support this channel by hitting that like button, subscribing, or even becoming a channel member. That's that membership button down there, that join button. You can click that, become a channel member. That's going to help also with your contribution. Goes directly into the pool to help support the Comics Curing Cancer event. And same thing with that merchandise down below that you see down there. Appreciate you very much for coming out. Let me know what you thought. And until next time, you collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody, including me. I mean, I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.